Thank you for keeping it, KTN. We now want to get into a conversation that is focused on getting some answers on how Kenya Airways got itself into this position. And joining me in studio right now, we have Kevin Tuitoek, who's a macroeconomic analyst with Genghis Capital. Welcome, Tuitoek. Let's just first kick it off. How did Kenya Airways land in this territory?
Well, the Kenya Airways has faced a barrage of various both external and internal factors that has led to the 25.7 billion loss. First off, huge capital expenditure. We've all seen the new planes that they've acquired,
yes,
based on the Project Mawingu expansion program. Second of all, we've seen that not just Kenya Airways but the whole country has been affected by adverse travel advisories due to the effects of global terrorism. So definitely this has had an impact on the turnover for Kenya Airways. Definitely it's eaten up into the loss. Also we've seen that the numbers, especially on routes such as London to Nairobi, have had an impact of about 40% decline.
Yes.
So that's also had a huge impact. Possible also is the fuel. If we look into the balance, we can see unrealized fuel hedges. This is something that has also led to the balance sheet also going up by about 5 billion. So definitely if that was not taken into account, then we'd be looking at the figures differently.
Interesting. Still keeping with this, we've also seen the share price actually falling by close to 22%. What does this signal of KQ as a company, and what should shareholders be looking out for?
Well, this single day fall of about, it was the 22%, has seen the share price going to about 5.6. This is definitely concerns from investors who are a bit timid and seeing the historic loss. Basically worried about the future outlook of the company. It is natural. Definitely this is something that is worrying in the long term, because a company that is, suffice to say, servicing most of its expenditure based on debt is also going to face some long-term problems, especially noting that shareholders are looking as to whether they'll see a return on their investments within the next few years. So definitely this is some of the effects of the capital expenditure, but optimistic to say that it is on a J-curve basis, whereby we'll see a depreciation and possibly some appreciation within a few years.
Is it the best time to buy or sell?
I'd say KQ is a long-term buy if you are a long-term investor based on being an optimist due to the current situation. So based on some of the strategies that they hopefully will implement, there is some portended long-term buy capabilities with the share.
Looking at one of the other issues you've raised is the debt levels that the airline has been facing. We've seen that they actually took an approach where they got a loan of 200 million, which was coming in from the Africa Export-Import Bank. How will this really help the airline turn around from its loss-making streak to profitability?
This is a bridge loan facility that the bank has managed to secure. Definitely what we've been seeing is that they've been facing a lot of the debt financing from short-term loans secured from some of the local banks. I think currently we're seeing about $270 million worth of short-term loans invested in Kenya Airways right now. So this 200 million will start seeing some form of restructuring, though it is short-term. I do expect that the long-term debt restructuring is in the offing, so that we can be able to start converting those. Definitely there is a concern as to incurring debt on more debt. So in terms of debt sustainability, there is some questions in terms of the long-term plan for that. But hopefully as they start securing more strategies based on some of the consultants that they're set to hire or have hired, we can be able to start seeing some clarity on that aspect.
Looking at, as we wind up our conversation, we've also seen a lot of, should I say, optimism, as well as it's sort of a mixed reaction kind of a scenario. What should the employees expect? Because you've thrown in a word, restructuring. Are we looking forward to seeing perhaps something happening when it comes to bringing down top management when it's because we've seen a lot of expenses going up as well in terms of paying the pilots and also senior managers. What does this mean for the airline moving forward? Is it a strategy they might want to consider really?
I wouldn't want to start preempting some of the plans that the management should take, but what I do know is that they are investing in looking for a consultant who can advise them on the Project Mawingu phase, which has been shifted from long-term base, which was over 10 years, to now 5 years. So what they're doing is they're reviewing the entire strategy, which is something that will at least enhance their competitiveness within the region, because we've seen some regional airlines starting to eat into their market share. So definitely a whole turnaround strategy is something that's direly needed in order to start getting this airline to literally take off from the abysmal results that we have seen today. So until we see some solid plans on the table, then we cannot be able to comprehend at least some of the long-term strategies that are in place.
During the press conference, we saw Mbuvi Gunze, who is the CEO, sort of relaxed and composed, saying that they are going to turn around the company. What's your take?
Mbuvi, the CEO, has a wealth of experience, and he has served in various corporations and done well to them. I do think this is a hit, knowing that he's relatively new as a CEO, but he has previously served as CFO in the company. I do think he has a deep insight into the company and can be able to visibly see some of the pertinent issues that need his attention. So I do remain quite optimistic that he can be able to at least come to terms with what needs to be done.
Well, many thanks. We've been speaking to Kevin Tuitoek, who is an analyst with Genghis Capital, just helping us break down this issue around how Kenya Airways got itself into this situation, saying that all is not lost. There could be some ray of hope at the end of the day.